Cardiac Conduction System and the EKG, a connection. To understand the cardiac conduction system and the connection to the EKG, we must first understand the cardiac conduction system on its own. The heartbeat is coordinated by a cardiac conduction system, which provides the electrical stimulation for contraction. It is composed of specialized cardiomyocytes that are autorhythmic, meaning they have the ability to generate the electrical signals on their own, as well as nerve-like conduction pathways through the myocardium. These structures generate and conduct rhythmic electrical signals in the following order. The sinoatrial node, or SA node, is located in the right atrium near the superior vena cava. It initiates the action potential for the heartbeat, which is why it gets the name the pacemaker. The signal from the SA node then spreads throughout the left and right atria by way of the myocardium and stops at the atrioventricular node, or AV node. It acts as a gateway and sends a second signal to the ventricles after a short pause. This signal then leaves the AV node and travels down the AV bundle, which begins the descension down the interventricular septum, where it then branches into left and right bundle branches that continue to the apex. Off the lower end of the bundle branches, you'll find the Purkinje fibers, which are multiple small nerve-like cardiomyocytes specialized for electrical conduction. At the apex of the heart, they turn upward throughout the ventricular myocardium, distributing the signal through the ventricles. Now that we have a better understanding of how the cardiac conduction system works, let's talk about the electrocardiogram. An ECG, or EKG, is a recording of all action potentials produced by the nodal and myocardial cells. Now, before getting into the ins and outs of the electrocardiogram, there are some important terms we must discuss. Throughout this description, you will hear the words depolarization, repolarization, systole and diastole, and contraction. To make these terms easy to differentiate, here is a breakdown. Contraction is the same as depolarization as well as systole. These terms are essentially interchangeable, as well as the terms diastole and relaxation. So let's dive into the EKG and its connection to the cardiac conduction system. The EKG has three principal deflections: the P wave, the QRS complex, and the T wave. The P wave is produced when a signal from the SA node spreads through the atria and depolarizes them, or causes contraction. This is referred to as atrial systole. Firing of the SA node excites atrial cardiomyocytes and stimulates the two atria to contract almost simultaneously. Impulses then travel from the SA node to the AV node. The signal is then delayed at the AV node for a brief moment, which allows the ventricles to fill with blood in response to the atrial contraction before they then begin to contract themselves. The QRS complex begins when the AV node moves the signal down the AV bundle to be distributed through the left and right bundle branches. At the lower end of the bundle branches, the Purkinje fibers then collect the message and stimulate ventricle systole, or contraction. The peak is taller on the EKG at this point in time because the signal is much stronger during ventricle depolarization in order to pump the blood out of the heart. As this is happening, diastole, or relaxation of the atria, is occurring, which leads to the third wave, known as the T wave. At this time, the signal goes away and causes the ventricles to relax, or ventricular diastole, and then prepare for the cycle to begin again. I hope this demonstration gives you a better understanding of the cardiac conduction system and its connection to the EKG.